Enough Jules. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
Oh, you didn't quite do it as well as Jules, but you came close. Well done.
Close, yeah.
Manchester City come from behind to beat Dortmund 2-1. Robbo, how did they look to you over the two legs? Closer than you expected?
Yes, much closer. They didn't play as well as I expected. I thought they kept the ball for the sake of keeping the ball at times. There wasn't quite enough penetration.
That'll happen when you don't play centre forward and you play Bernardo Silva up front.
And then you had balls played in behind, which caused them one or two problems as well for the goal. I thought Haaland's pace in behind Stones was going to cause them a problem. But I saw them perform against Everton in the FA Cup. It was a similar sort of performance, but they're still a very good team.
The Emre Can penalty.
Yes, penalty. Absolutely. Right. Now, this is the 8th time Pep has reached the semi-final of the Champions League, but the first time he's done it with City. Gab, he had some interesting things to say at the end of this one, didn't he?
Yeah, he was speaking to Sky Italia, and they asked him oh, well, you've won Pep's teams, you've won this, you've won that, and he's like, look, stop saying Pep's team. I'm not playing. I just go and give them instructions. Ultimately, the difference tonight was the quality. He says, we have really good players who are in the right positions. It's not my tactics. My tactics might get them in those positions, but it's their quality that makes a difference. And I don't know. I thought that was pretty humble.
Yeah, humble and right.
We saw two exceptional performances from young English midfielders in that tie. Jude Bellingham, who was outstanding the first leg too, and Phil Foden. Robbo, who has the brighter future?
I'm going to go with Bellingham because when I think of a midfield player, I know Foden plays higher up the field. When I think of any sort of player, I like someone that can do both sides of the job. And when I look at Jude Bellingham, I think he can run with the ball, he can see a pass, but he can also get around the pitch and defend, and he wants to defend as well. That's why I think he will be a top-class midfield player for many, many years.
Ooh, so just for the benefit of our
Foden's a very
fans,
good player.
No. Okay, that's fine. No, I'm sure that I think they should both be in the starting 11.
Yeah.
But is Bellingham enough to break up the vaunted Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips partnership?
He is good enough. Whether he will be, whether Southgate sees it that way, I'm not sure. Now, Chelsea are also through, despite their 1-0 home defeat to Porto. Gab, they always looked in control, didn't they?
Yeah, look, there's a maturity to this. When we have this image of Thomas Tuchel, German managers, counter-pressing, rule-breaking, heavy metal football, blah, blah, blah. He can do all that. That's not what he's serving up at Chelsea.
No.
He's showing a kind of mature performance where they don't dazzle you going forward. In fact, I think he still has issues, serious issues, in figuring out who should be playing in that front three with Mason Mount. But they concede almost nothing. It doesn't matter who plays. They're very well set up. This is a mature team, and they could spring a few surprises. Speaking of that game, I need your technical analysis of Taremi's late overhead kick.
Well, first of all, he judges the flight of the ball. And the key thing is, when you're going to hit the ball that high, you've got to get your head below the level of the ball. And that's exactly what he did, so he can get his foot high enough. He hits the top half of the ball. It's a great technical goal, and it's a brilliant bit of skill, but it's the judging the flight of the ball and having the athleticism to get your top half of your body down and that leg high.
Yeah, thinking back to this, and maybe I'm influenced by the goal, I wonder if maybe Sergio Conceição's Porto didn't show Chelsea a little too much respect in that second leg.
Now, the Financial Times reports that Manchester United and AC Milan are leading the charge by some clubs to torpedo the new Champions League agreement, and there's no guarantee that they reach a deal by next week. Gab, what's this all about?
Well, on Friday, the European Clubs Association meet, and they'll have to decide their final stance on this. So they've agreed the expanded format and the Swiss model and all this stuff. The argument is over the company that's going to control the commercial rights of the Champions League, whether it should be a 50-50 split or a 51-49 split in UEFA's favor, whether the club should have more of a say. This is basically just greed and money from the usual suspects. Real Madrid are in the mix there as well. The interesting thing is, Andrea Agnelli, who is the head of the European Clubs Association, Juventus president, he had assured Chefrin that, no, don't worry, everybody's in line. Apparently, it looks like they're not in line. This could just be a negotiating ploy, but stay tuned, because on Monday, we'll know which way this one goes. Real Madrid's team bus had a window smashed on the way to Anfield to play Liverpool. Robbo, I thought those days were behind us.
Well, you'd hope they would be behind us, but we saw when Manchester City went to Anfield a couple of seasons ago, and the fans, when they were allowed inside the stadium, thought that it got to Manchester City by upsetting the apple cart and having a go at the bus and all the noise that was going on around. And they obviously thought they might get to the Real Madrid players. It didn't work for them, did it?
Yeah, this is ugly and unnecessary, and I don't think reflects what Liverpool's all about.
Gab, not a good week for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and I was doing the game last weekend when he was sent off.
Do you think? So basically on Saturday he gets sent off. On Sunday he goes out to lunch with his mates, although apparently it was a work meeting. Not that should make a difference because Milan is under a red zone lockdown, which means you're not allowed to do that. He gets photographed. He could be facing sanction for that. And on top of that, now it emerged, Aftenposten in Sweden, the newspaper, revealing that not only did he serve as a testimonial for a bookmaker, they claim that his company is also a shareholder in this bookmaker, which would be in violation of rules. Theoretically, he risks a three-year ban from football. I don't know. We need to wait till we see what the facts are there. But no, not a good week. He was hoping to get his new deal sorted out, and it looks like he's going to have to wait. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says Jesse Lingard has a future at Manchester United. So, Robbo, if that's the case, why didn't he play him more when he was there?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, because when he first took over, I think he was one of their key players for their counter-attacking game. And then the fans got onto him a little bit. He didn't play quite so well, and then he left him out the team absolutely, almost completely. Jesse Lingard is still a very good footballer, as he's proving at West Ham, and I think it would be the best thing for him to go to West Ham, because I don't think the fans will ever take to him again.
Yeah, I think we get a little carried away with this when what Solskjaer's supposed to say. No, he has no future here. I never want to see him again. Yeah. But, I'm happy for Lingard that he shows he's productive.
Slavia Prague defender Ondrej Kudela has been banned for 10 games by UEFA after racially abusing Rangers Glen Kamara. Gab, your thoughts?
Yeah, so a couple of things. We don't know all the details in this. UEFA will be publishing their written reasons, how they got to the 10 games. Kudela, one thing to remember, Kudela's 34. A 10-game European ban means that we will likely never see this guy ever again. People will say, well, that's not enough to stamp out racism. How long is enough? You want to ban him for 100 games? It all depends on how much evidence they found, because ultimately he covered his mouth when he allegedly said this. There were some witnesses. We don't know who those witnesses are. We don't know the strength of that. What I don't have an issue with is Kamara also getting a 3-match ban, because that happened later. You still can't assault another person, no matter what happens.
Absolutely
It's not a question of self-defense. So hopefully, though, 10-match ban, I think, is a big deterrent. Now let's also have education. Now let's make sure people feel empowered to come out and report it when it happens.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.